Happy Cinco de Mayo, everybody. Cinco de Mayo is not Mexico's Independence Day. Okay? In fact, it's not even celebrated very much in Mexico. It was made into a mainstay by what are today known as Californianos, the initial residents of California who were concerned about the Civil War and France taking over Mexico, because if France had been successful in reaching Mexico City, they would have taken over Mexico and aided the South in the Civil War. So there were a lot of people in California who were really concerned about it. So Cinco de Mayo, as a little background, is a celebration of the victory by a ragtag group of soldiers and mothers and children and horses and burros and a bunch of things that came together to repel the French advance to Mexico City. Ergo, it's not celebrated very much in Mexico. It's a U.S. Latino celebration, and because of the impact it had on the Civil War and the ultimate victory by the North and the abolishment of slavery in the United States. So happy Cinco de Mayo. It's my pleasure to be here with you, and I'm going to get into this whole issue. The theme for this morning was guide or tools for entrepreneurs, and what I'm going to attempt to do is give you an overview. I'm going to throw a lot of figures at you, so if you have questions afterwards, I'd be happy to answer them, but if you can take note, most of this stuff is out of my book. I was the national marketing director for Anheuser-Busch for about 12 years in St. Louis, Missouri. Prior to that, I was in charge of corporate contributions in Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, and parts of Colorado for Anheuser-Busch. And before that, I was the regional marketing director for McDonald's Corporation in the Southwestern United States. Basically pioneered the whole idea of ethnic marketing with those two companies, which prompted me to start and hang up my own shingle some 23 years ago. I came to Texas, actually San Antonio, and started Estrada Communications Group. And in the process, brought over several of my former colleagues who had marketing decision-making power to hire me. And we've had a heck of a run. And the book, by the way, is based on my experiences at McDonald's and Anheuser-Busch. In addition to doing ethnic marketing, I had to train non-Latino marketing executives on the whole concept of ethnic marketing. I woke up one day and I looked at all my notes of all the training sessions that I had conducted, and I said, I have the makings of a book. And the reason I thought I had the makings of a book is because none of my colleagues, non-Hispanic colleagues, knew very much about Latinos in the United States. Worse than that, many Latinos don't know very much about Latinos in the United States because it's not taught in our public schools. It's not taught in our colleges and universities, and I refer to the Hispanic consumer market as the best kept secret in the United States, okay? This one on? Yes, no? Okay. I'm going to start off by giving you guys something free, okay? I'm going to give you an electronic copy of the book for whoever can answer this question for me without Googling, okay? Who is the most decorated soldier in the history of Texas? Audie Murphy? Audie Murphy. No. I'll give you a hint. It's not John Wayne either. Okay? Anybody? The gentleman's name is Marcelino Serna from World War I. He was an undocumented railroad worker who was arrested one night with several of his friends and given a choice: get deported, go to jail, or join the army. He joined the army at the ripe age of 18 years of age. He fought in the European theater and had numerous acts of courage and valor, and ultimately was given the top honors of the Italian, the French, and the English military. Okay? He never got anything above a Silver Star from the U.S. Army, yet 3 other nations of our allies thought he was courageous enough to win their very top, similar to Medal of Honor by France, Italy, and England. His name was Marcelino Serna, and he died in 1991, a legal resident of the United States living in El Paso, and his efforts for defending the United States of America is still pending his receipt of the Medal of Honor. The reason he didn't get the Medal of Honor, according to his commanding officer and other people who looked at his feats, is that he didn't speak English. That was the one reason. But give me a number between 1 and 100. 50 what? 51's the number. Here's the electronic card for a copy of the book. The book took me 9.5 years, and that's because I had to take a lot of remedial classes in English. But it's a work of love and education that I still today want to pursue. Tools in modern America is equal to information, okay? And if you don't believe it, just look at social media and the role that social media is having on the United States in general, okay? So part of the tools is this morning is to share with you another new term, real facts, okay? As opposed to alternative facts. The real facts, in my estimation, relative to marketing, is the best kept secret in the United States of America is the role of Latinos in business, in consumerism, in politics, in education, workforce, tax paying. We're the fastest segment of the population in almost all of those areas I just mentioned, and particularly in the area of entrepreneurship, okay? We're the fastest growing business owners in America, okay? It's a hard pill to swallow for a lot of people. Well, how can you be that? Well, already we're nearing 20% of the population, okay? There are 4 million Hispanic-owned companies projected to be in operation by the end of this year. 4 million, okay? We're 55 million population in the United States. That's a lot of people, and to give you some perspective, Canada's entire population is 35 million. So if you were given an opportunity as business people to start looking at a marketplace that has a tremendous amount of potential, and I were to say to you, would you like the entire population of Canada's 35 million? You'd say, hell yes, bring it, okay? you have another segment of the population in this country that's 55 million, okay? And let's just say for the sake of discussion, because everybody says, this is facts, folks. Over half of the population of the United States believe that over half of all of us Latinos in the United States are undocumented. Okay? And that's Pew, that's Latino Decisions, that's Gallup, all have done these surveys. That's a real strong misrepresentation and misunderstanding of the public that we do business with. As another factor that I learned in the marketing business, we over-index in terms of consumption of beer, smartphones, home entertainment, appliances and equipment, shopping at supermarkets. How many of you are familiar with HEB? Okay, HEB is the pioneer in retail shopping in the state of Texas, and their products and services probably are the most skewed towards the Hispanic consumer. Toyota says that 100% of its profit growth in the next 20 years is going to come from the Hispanic consumer market. Walmart says 99% of its profit growth is going to come from Latino consumers in the United States. Anybody have a thought as to why? What does Walmart sell? Everything. At what kind of prices? Okay? And who needs low prices of almost everything in the United States? Large, medium, or small families? Latino families are 4.34 average per household, okay? They spend $1.5 trillion a year in the United States as consumers. Why is this important to you? Okay, you're entrepreneurs. You want to start businesses, you want to conduct businesses, you want to be profitable. And in order to do that, you want to expand the base of your consumers. And if you're overlooking the fastest growing segment, it grows 5 times faster than the general market. If you're overlooking this segment of the marketplace, you're going to miss out. Some of you are saying, yeah, but Latinos are poor. They can't afford my product or service, okay? At Anheuser-Busch, we used to sell, Budweiser is a premium beer. It costs more than most average beers, okay? Michelob is our super premium beer. Guess what market share, the largest market share we have for both Budweiser and Michelob in the United States? What segment of the population buys those beers more than anybody else? A good guess would be Latinos, okay? It's part of the culture, folks. We want to project that we are able to afford whatever the hell we want, okay? Despite the fact that people think that we're poor or that we're all undocumented or that we're all agricultural workers. I contend if you scratch a Latino deep enough, you'll find 1 or 2 generations removed from agricultural work. I was a ciruelero, plum picker in California, okay? I quit high school at 17, joined the military, went in the Air Force without a high school diploma because of my test scores. I was an electronic instructor at Biloxi, Mississippi, Keesler Air Force Base, and I did my 4 years. Part of all of this, it says to you, is that there's a tremendous change occurring within our consumer marketplace, and the fastest growing change is coming from Latinos. Ironically, this consumer growth is occurring in places that are not traditionally associated with Latinos, okay? Places like Minnesota, Iowa, Missouri, Nebraska, North Dakota, and South Dakota had the fastest percentage of increase in the Hispanic consumer market. But California, Oregon, Washington, and Alaska continue to be the states with the highest growth of Latino-owned businesses, projected at more than 1.05 million, providing an increase of some 22% since 2012. So the whole idea is that we're toppling what we think has been the model of consumers in this country. As a TV reporter, when I started out in 19, I used to want to do more coverage of things like Cinco de Mayo, September the 16th. The fact that tortillas outsell sliced bread in the United States to this day, okay? Condiments. What is the most popular and sold condiment in the United States? Salsa, okay? Tortillas and salsa says a lot about the cultural influence Latinos are having in the United States, okay? We over-index, as I said, in a number of these products, which make us a valuable consumer force, okay? In the state of California and the state of Texas, we are approximately 40% of the population today. Today. We are the fastest growing K through 12 student population in America. We're already 25% of the incoming K students in the state of Texas and the state of California, okay? So if you're looking at businesses that appeal to educational institutions, if you're looking at businesses that are providing products and services that appeal to large families, and you're not including a Latino segment, you're missing the boat. And the same thing that happened to companies like Montgomery Ward's, Sears, Kresge's, Kress, who didn't keep pace with the changing demographics, is bound to happen with those companies that don't understand the importance of reaching the total marketplace as opposed to segmented. Now, that's not to say segmentation is not effective, okay? They're not mine, but I'm driving a Mercedes today. It's a loaner, because I'm having my Jaguar repaired, okay? Now, this is part of what's occurring. And if you don't understand that occurrence, it's going to be very hard for you to say, well, I really don't want that segment of the marketplace because I don't think they're going to be profitable. Well, the fact is that profitability includes ethnic markets. And the more ethnic market consumers you have in your marketing plans, the more money you're going to make. Now, this is a commercial. If you don't understand the cultural nuances of the marketplace, hire people that do. Okay? It's not affirmative action. It's bottom line, profit-driven decisions. You get people that can help you sell more products and services, guess what? And the fact remains is that we have a segment of the population that has changed considerably. I'm doing this off the top of my head because I have my glasses, but I get really passionate about these numbers because they just mean so much. Latino-owned businesses have grown over 25% since 2012. more than doubling the growth rate for all U.S. companies in the United States. And that number was 12.3% for the general market. So you can see that we have a growth rate. I left my napkins. No, here they are. Lived here for 27 years and never had allergies until this year. Now I'm a Texan. But part of all of these numbers, and I will make this available to anybody who wants the full breakout. I'm skipping over a lot of the stuff because I'm running out of time. But I will make this available to you because I think it's good stuff. And obviously I could talk for an hour on this thing. And I do. I'm a lecturer and I teach at various colleges and universities across the United States because this is this issue and a subject matter that not too many people know about or unfortunately care about. But for those of you that are running businesses, if you don't know this, you may not meet your full potential. The growth rate is going to continue, 5 times the general. I thought it was supposed to turn green. Okay. But let me wrap up. You have a tremendous opportunity, particularly in Texas, where, like I say, 40% of the population now is Latino. And I think that to the extent that you can start to look at that segment of the population or the consumer force, you're going to have an opportunity to probably make some incremental gains in your profit lines and bottom lines and be contributing to changing the attitude and the way we look at consumers, particularly in the short term. 18 and a half minutes on the mark. I'm done. Thank you.